Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Totally Indian Football Show. I'm your host Siju. And well, last episode we were kind of very raw and emotional, right? We had Jenny on the show and we were talking about all the things that went wrong with regards to Team India at the Asian Cup that's ongoing. I think I also mentioned about the fact that we will be continuing to talk about women's football irrespective of what happens on the pitch or off the pitch, and there would be consistency as well. Well, this is not talking. We are not talking about a women's national team or to players or about any tournament. But today we have a special guest in Anthony Andrews, who's a coach, and currently he's the one who led the Gokulam Kerala FC women's team to the Kerala State League champions. And firstly, welcome to the show, Anthony, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here again.
Great. So let's kickstart with the good news, that the special one, that you guys were crowned champions of the Kerala State League, the Women's State League. And please tell us and describe your emotions, and if you can take us through the journey. How did it go? Because there was also scare that, with the whole third variant, would it continue? But I think the state did a great job in organizing the entire thing, and you all finished it, and you all were crowned champions, and you all will be playing in the IWL. So Anthony, take us through the journey of the recently concluded state league.
Uh, so the journey, if I talk about the journey, we started in I think 6 months back, where we were planning first, like where we were training for AFC. Then few players were also part of the women's. Then we went for Jordan, and then all the players went to the national team, and then we have the local players. We had 13 to 14 local players. Then we have 6 outstation players with 2 foreigners. The squad were like this. The journey was, for me, it was, because Gokulam have already won the IWL title. For me as a coach, it was a tough job, because I wanted to first clear the state league. Then only we can play IWL. So hats off, all the credit goes to the president, manager, the CEO, and everyone who were doing all the tireless job, behind the scenes to make this thing work. And secondly, all the credit again goes to the girls, where they were so good on and off the pitch, where they were trying, like they were putting everything on the ground, and they knew how important this state league for us to play IWL. So I would say the entire team, the whole credit goes to the staff and the players to make this happen, to win this title. It was like it is like all credit to the girls. They have worked really hard.
Yeah, and also this particular tournament that you all played, the league, sorry, you all played, you were the one leading from the front, right? If I'm not wrong. And Coach Priya CV was in service. She was in action with the national team. So how was that like? You were leading this. I'm sure there was some kind of pressure, just like you mentioned, that they Gokulam are IWL champions, and to qualify for another one, you'll have to win the state league. So how was that personally for you?
Yeah, obviously that was a pressure, but the president, the people from the staff, the owners, the presidents, the CEO, and everyone believed in me, and they thought that I will do this job. So they were helping me throughout the journey, because for me also it was a complete switch from a men's to women's football. Even I was trying to figure it out, how things gonna go with the women's team, all the studies which I was planning, from last 6 months and all. So I think they believed in me, and then I was like able to deliver what they wanted. But yeah, it was there was pressure. Like I wanted to win this. I as a coach also wanted to win the state league, and then go for IWL. Obviously, that was the target. But yeah.
Well, once again, congratulations that you've finally, got the target solved and it's on to the next stage now. Well, let's go a little back to your personal coaching journey, right? It's great to have you on the show. We go back, we know each other. I mean, I would say know of each other because of AIFC. But you never really spoken. So it's good to have you finally on the show, so we can actually get to know a bit more about your coaching journey as well. So take us back a bit from your, where you started from. If you can tell our audience and, our listeners would be happy to know about this young guy who's out there doing a lot of things. And I think due credit, we should be talking about you. So please.
So basically, I like to choose coaching at a very young age. It was very difficult task, not only for me but for my parents, because again, a lot of injuries were happening. But finally, you need some support, to achieve what like, because no one believes now, even nowadays, that there is scope in coaching, or or sports can give you revenue, money, or you will be like stable in your life. But my parents, my sisters, all were standing right next to me through in this 10 years of coaching journey. And first, when I was playing and all, and when I was like with a lot of injury, my sister helped me through some of her friend, where they introduced me into coaching, that is PIFA. It was through my sister where I got this opportunity to come into coaching, where PIFA was so good to me, where they were teaching me what is coaching. And I started coaching under fours, under threes, under fours, under six, and I was very new into coaching. And people, it took time for me to understand what how a coach can work, should work, all these things. But again, the my first club who believed in me and who was teaching me all these things, credit goes to entire to PIFA, that is Premier Indian Football Academy, where they were standing with me in, like in my coaching. I worked for them for 4.5 years, where they believed in me, where they give me responsibility to manage their youth teams, working as an assistant coach in the I League squads. So a lot of things from there. I got to I started believing in myself when they gave me and this opportunity. Then slowly went, like after that, 2016-17, joined Minerva, where again the clubs who believe in the young coaches gave me responsibility with the youth team, where we collectively won the title. There, then went to ARA, that is Ahmedabad Cricket Academy, where I was the assistant coach for the second division I League, also managing the youth teams, the 18s and 13s, as the head coach. It was a great season, where we qualified from our state for the final round as well. Then I joined Rebels in Bangalore as the first team head coach, and then now I have, I'm in Kerala working as the coach for the women's team.
Great. That's been a really great journey, right? And you've added more feathers as you've grown. And I'm sure now your family would be happy. The number of titles that you've earned throughout your current journey. And I'm sure this is only the beginning. One of the things I'm sure you must be proud of is to be part of the Gokulam Kerala FC team that played in the AFC Women's Club Championship, right? And you also mentioned that the preparation started before that for even for this particular tournament that you won, and it was indeed a great tournament. For a women's team, for a club from India to see them in action in that competition, I think that was a great exposure for women's football for our country. So please, the momentous occasion, how when you all tell me, like from when you all got to know that you all are going to play in this, and then throughout the preparation, playing in the tournament, and post that, how was it like?
So everyone, when I joined them, if you talk about me, I joined them when it was, when the news was in the air saying that Gokulam has been nominated to play the AFC Cup, and I was very lucky that I got through, and I was part of the technical team, which like as an assistant coach. So credit goes to again Kevin, the manager who hired me, when we had a conversation, and then I went there. The preparation, it started. Priya coach was not there. She was part of the national team. We did not have national team players where they're doing their national duties. So we started with the foreigners. We started with the local players, whoever we had in our squad. So we started. They came 10-15 days before the tournament because they were busy with their international tours. Uh, so we knew what we wanted to do, like the style, whatever we were planned with me and Priya coach. So we were going on the track. The journey again was not easy, and it was like uh, when the national team players came, we had very less time. Though they were fit, they know what they need to do. They were technically sounded. They were everything was going on paid. But again, the foreign players have to settle, and everything was happening. So the journey for us, if I say as a coach, if we could have a little more time with the national team players, I think the foreign players would also have done a little bit better in terms of team bonding and everything. When they came in, we have hardly 7 to 8 sessions, 7 to 8 sessions in 2 3 weeks, and then we need to take care of their fitness and all everything. So we have only ball work on the ground. On the ground, we were for 6 sessions, 6 7 sessions, and then we have to go and go to Jordan. If I talk about Jordan experience, yeah, we took a lead in the first half, but again, lack of patience. We did not, we were not focused. So we conceded in our set pieces, defending set pieces, 2 goal set pieces. But again, we thought we'll bounce back in the second game, and we were trying all our luck. But again, the Iran was very much prepared in the defensive shape. They were doing a great job in defensive. Again, we have conceded in set pieces there. They got a free kick, and we conceded there. Then putting all these things on one paper, and then we came with solutions how we're going to play in the third game. And we wanted to win this third game. Obviously, from the first game we wanted to win, but things were not happening. We were conceding, in the dying minutes, or in the set pieces. No, we got chances. We were not able to convert our chances, because if you see, there were a lot of vital, external factors playing because of the weather and everything. We were taking time to adjust. But third game, there was no reason, there's no complaint. We wanted to finish, because not only the club is looking after, but the people who were backing up, we need to think for them as well. And the players were much motivated that they have to bounce back and rectify our mistakes. So we did that. We rectified, and then we played the third game, and then we got that game in our hand. The move was we were good, but I think we could have done much better, because the club have done a fantastic job, in terms of, off the field. We there is no complaint. There was no complaint. The club gave us everything. The president gave us everything. Everything was on our plate. It's just not our luck, I would say.
Yeah, now you mentioned that how closely you worked with Coach Priya as well, right? And she's another experienced coach, and she has been rightly the talk of the town as well after she led the team to the first IWL, right? So take us, share some moments or share some experience with us of how was it, or how is it rather working with Coach Priya?
So it was good. She was helping in the sense, she was very open. She always wanted to understand, or know things what I want to do, and it was very transparent between us. So whenever I want to speak to her, or whenever she wants to speak to her, it's just one step away. Just knock the door, or just call us one call away. We just call, we talk, or we sit together and we discuss and we go ahead. So before me joining there, she made it very clear that, Andrews, whenever you need anything, or whatever, if you're planning this or that, you just come to me. We will solve it. So it was very transparent. So she have always given me freedom to talk to her, even if it's off the field or on the field, whatever I feel, or whatever. Even she was very okay to share her plans with me. So that's how, it was good. It was good, that we were sharing both. And but at the end of the day, we should be on the same page. That was, even she was she always told me the same thing, that we should be on the same page, no matter what. So it was a good experience with her as well.
Now, if please correct me if I'm wrong. From the start that you've worked with, right, PIFA, Minerva, Rebels, and right now with GKFC. Before coming to GKFC, you were managing the men's team and the boys team,
Correct.
or have you worked in the women's team,
No, no.
women's football earlier?
This is my first time where I've
Okay.
been working. Yeah.
Sure. So how different, or I mean, how different is it, or is there any difference coaching a women's team or a men's team? And if there is, how was it for you personally for that change? I'm sure there were these minor things that probably you had to make note of, coming from coaching all the while of the men's team, and now suddenly you're taking the onus of women's team. So tell us a bit from the coaching perspective, and also from your personal journey of how different is it, and if it is different, what were your learnings?
Uh, Firstly, I have learned as a personal thing, women should be coached as women, okay, not as men. So that was my first thing. I wanted to be very clear. I wanted to coach women as women, because if I talk about this, because see, if you see in the men's side, there are a lot of factors like hormonal factors, muscular systems, their strength, the metabolism, their biomechanics. So there are so many things which is different from a men's to women. Okay. Now, if when I was with the men's team, for me, it was like considering my four corners, which I have always been following. The technical, tactical, physical, psychological, everything. Here in the women's team, like it took me time. Like I was taking time to understand the girls. I was trying to understand what the individual players' quality had. So for me, then I started adding, because the big factor in women's is to understand their health. You need to understand their health, their cycle, or their health screening, or their sleeping recovery, their environment. So these all things affect women's. Okay, this all things affects women, even if it's on the training session or if it's on the or it's off ground. So I was first understanding this, and later I came through like we started putting things together, and it was working. It is not a big change in men's and women's switching for me from men's to women's. It's just it if I as a coach, if I understands, okay, if I'm understanding all this factors, how I have to deal with this. I think anyone, like any coach, can do it. So it was not a big change. It's just to understand this players, and I think we can get to it.
Okay. And what made you take this job up? Like, what excited you the most? Because all this while, or was it something that you had in mind that you would also want to get into women's football or coach a women's team? But it was, to be fair, it was quite a jump, right? And because you didn't have previously you have coaching experience, but then, like you mentioned, there were a few criteria that you had to take care of when you come into women's football. So what was the most thing that excited you to take this offer up, and how did you decide that you want to get into a coach a women's team?
So when I got this offer, as you said, I took a lot of time to think about it. But for me, it was like uh, I have done the youth system, I have done senior. Now it's time for me to also see women's football, how it works, how they play. Can I give something to the women's football? It's not that I wanted to work in women's football, but yeah, now I'm enjoying my time with the women's team. Uh, so when I got this offer, I sat with my parents. I was discussing about this. My father also told me that this is you have to, it's not an easy task. You need to understand. But he was very kind. He made me sit, and he was explaining me all the things which I was preparing. Then I spoke to people who are senior to me. I spoke to them. They also told me, Andrews, you have to do this. To so all the things I listed, and then I said yes to Gokulam. The first, which also attracted me, was, to be very honest with you, was AFC. I said, now this is the time where the first club, obviously from India, playing the AFC Club Championship. So this is also an opportunity, not for the players. If I think as a coach, it is also opportunity for the coaches to showcase. Okay, so this opportunity also was attracting me towards this, to take this opportunity. So then when I was about to sign, all these things were happening. When I spoke to Priya coach, I spoke to our manager Kevin. They were explaining me all these things, few things, like how they want to work. So I understand. I wanted to understand before I go there the philosophy, the club structure, how they want to grow, how they want to do it. So they were very good to me. They explained me all these things. Priya coach also did the same with me, like explaining things and what she wanted when she was not there. So I thought, yeah, this is a challenge now. I think I should go, I should move on, and I should see where I even, as a person, as a coach, even whether I can do this or no. So I took this, and I thought I took this as a challenge. I said no, even if there is up and downs, I will try my best to uh, to get the best out of them.
Right, that sounded really great, and the time that you took, and you spoke to different people, you took a lot of advice, and I think the way you are probably doing, definitely you're reaping benefits from it as well. If you can just tell us, how was your day one with the Gokulam Kerala FC women's team? The first day you're out there meeting the coaching staff, or how was it like? If you can just take us through the first day at Gokulam Kerala FC for you.
So when we started this camp, if you say the technical team, I was the only coach with the goalkeeper coach, me and him. The first training session there we were started with 15-20 local lads. Okay, and we foreigners also turned, like, they were also a little bit late, like, after we started, they came in after 2 or 3 weeks, but they got enough time. They were there with us for more than 1.5 month, 1 month, 1.5. So it was like, it's very, because if you see women's football, no offense to anyone here, women's football is like, yeah, few clubs play, few girls are technically sounded, all these things, they're physically fit, there's few girls are not. So when I first saw the team, I was a little bit, how to say, I was a little bit, okay, this is a challenge, but this is also a big task, like, because we need to improve players, we need to develop players also, because we had some young players, we have some experienced players. I don't want to leave the experienced players, don't want to leave the young players as well. So it was a mixed match. So the keeper coach was there. I was trying to put him in front of him. This is what we can do. He also helped me because he was also with the women's team when they won the IWL. I think, yeah. So he was training all the goalkeepers. He was helping me, coach. This is that. So we came to one point. We started training them. Again, as I said, it was not difficult. It was like, for me, it was to gain the confidence, because the problem in the women's thing is, most of the girls, they are not confident about themselves. They are scared to do mistakes. They think that if we do mistake, things will not happen, coach will put us out, or I cannot play in the 11. They are scared to do like this. They are scared to do mistakes, which, and they are scared to talk, or they are scared to open up, like, um, but slowly we were trying to change, where we allowed them to do mistakes, and come up with solutions. We were there always to help them to do, like, with the solution. We used to go back in the room, sit, see. We used to record our training sessions also. We used to see this is what happening. We used to go back, small things we have done, to do this. So the staff, the people, the girls, they were all they were very helpful. They were very kind to, to accept me, because even they know that I'm not coming with experience. Okay, I don't have much experience in the women's football, and for me it is new. Few girls will not like what coach is doing, but slowly to make them understand, it took me a time. But yeah, now I think they understood, and they believe, and they are doing it better.
Great. I think that was a very sweet story over there. Thanks for sharing that aspect. And well, finally, now you've qualified for IWL. The job is done. It was to win the state league. Now I think it's playing the waiting game, because there is uncertainty in terms of when would IWL be hosted. So how are you guys? What is happening at the moment? Is the team still together, or they're away? The ones that were playing, I know some of them are in AFC duties. But how is it like? How do you plan now? What is next for Gokulam Kerala women's team until we know when IWL is scheduled?
So our foreigners are here, our local players are here. We have just finished our league on 25th. So we have given them break, because we've been there for last 6 months together. So we have given them a break, so that they also come fresh. So I think we will be starting in February second week back again. All the local players will be here. Whoever is in the squad, they are already here. They just we have to call them. They just gone for a week or two for holidays. They will be back. Foreigners are already here, as I said. The national team players, yes. Once we get a clear picture on them, I think we are ready to go and start our camp very soon, in like second week of Feb. But yeah, we are now preparing them online sessions. We will start from 1st of February. Our online session will be starting, where we will be taking care of their fitness. Whatever our agenda is, we are working on that now, online session.
And how do you assess yourself so far? You've you took that jump and to come into, you thought a lot about whether should I take it or not, and finally you did, and there are benefits that you're reaping from it. You are loving it, the girls are happy. How do you, when you look back at it, if I had to ask you what are your learnings, though it's a short period, it's been just a short period of time, and also what is personally for Coach Anthony Andrews for the future? Like, what are your personal goals going ahead?
So I am still learning, to be honest. On the ground, off the ground, as much as I am teaching them, these girls are also teaching me. It happens in the men's football also, but here I'm learning a lot because now girls are open. They talk more, so I understand. They tell me, they discuss. So I have a free. I have given all the girls freedom. Okay, so basically they don't have to get scared with me. Okay, even if you have few things, even if it's your personal thing, if you want to come and share, even if it's your game related, technical, tactical, anything which you are faced, which is bothering you, you have freedom to come up and speak. So even I'm learning because whenever they come and talk to me, for me, yeah, I'm learning because they're teaching me something new. So it's open for us. We are like both are learning. Uh, Now, what takeaways? If I want to, if what I'm like, I I'm still as a coach, my like I'm really enjoying my time with the women's football, with women's team basically. The style, the game what we want to play, the girls are ready to understand that. The girls are trying to put that on the field. So it's very good for me as a coach. But still, I believe we are not there that what we want. Okay, again, as I said, I have come from a men's football. So my thinking, I always thought before me taking this, I told you, first day was where people were helping. I was when I saw them technically, tactically, we are still not that up to that mark. We are still learning. The girls are still learning the game. Few girls are really talented. Few girls are really good. But yeah, it's like still learning. I want to still learn with them. I still want to grow, as a coach, and I still want to help them to develop. And the only target for me now is the girls, whoever we have in the whoever we had in the Kerala League. We need to try to push them to IWL and then slowly for the national team.
Great. Thank you so much, Anthony. I think that was a great, insight into your coaching journey and also currently where you are at. So thank you so much for sharing all those insights, all those aspects of football. It was great to have you and to host you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much.
And all the very best for whatever is ahead. And we look forward to seeing what's in store and what more we can expect from Gokulam Kerala FC. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Well, to all our listeners, I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you did, so please do the honors of liking, following, and subscribing to our podcast, The Totally Indian Football Show. It's available on all the audio platforms. So please do check us out and subscribe to our show if you like it. And leave your thoughts and comments and go follow Anthony Andrews and his work at Gokulam Kerala FC. Thank you once again to all the listeners. You were listening to The Totally Indian Football Show.